Hi from Laundry Talk. Today I have part 2 on the video that I made of Your Baby Can Read system that teaches children how to read from infants to school-age children. So today I'm going to give you tips, or basically what I used to help my children read by the age of 2. I have a 12-year-old and a 2-year-old that have been reading since 2. So basically my youngest has been reading for the past around 8 months, so actually maybe before the age of 2, and so did my 2-year-old. She was reading some words by the age of 1, but by the age of 2 and 3 months, she was full-blown reading beginner books. So how I did this. First off, again, the name of the program is Your Baby Can Read, and it works with children from the age of 4 months, around there, 4 to 6 months, to the age of about 5 or 6 years old. Sorry, I'm outside in this beautiful rainy weather with a nice wind. So if you hear some noises of the outside city of New York, well, it's gonna have to happen. I do not want to be indoors right now. It feels so good out here. Anyway, so back to the video. So yes, Your Baby Can Read system works with children from infants to about 5 or 6 years old. And so not only did I use the videos, and I used the flashcards that it brings, and the book with like the flaps or the slides so you can see the picture and the words or the phrases, but I also used a few other things. One is I did my research on lighting. Lighting is very important when you're working with anything, especially when you're learning something. Like that's why a lot of times, well, in other countries they go different times of the day, but normally you go to school during the daytime hours when you're most awake, when you're most alert and focused. And so I use good lighting to make sure that she wasn't about going to fall asleep. Especially I started both of my girls, one when she was 7 months and the other one when she was 8 months old, to do these videos. So I really needed to make sure that in order for it to work, they were focused and paying attention only and solely on the videos and the content in order for it to work the best. So lighting is very important. Not super bright, because then they can't really focus too much on the light and that's coming from the TV or the tablet, whatever you're using, and it can be too dim because then they get groggy, sleepy, tired, and bored. So lighting is important. The second thing is that I made sure that I was sitting across from my child and I was sitting at their level. So eye-to-eye contact was important when we were reviewing the vocabulary words that they saw in the video after the video. So when we're reviewing the flashcards, it was important to sit with my child in front of them, not next to them, and then have them be able to see how I pronounce the words at the beginning when they started learning, enunciate the words, and have them see my lips moving and how I form the words, and hear them, see everything form. And the third thing I did was that I made sure that I took the words, for example, let's say blanket, toes, keys, car, and so I had manipulative. So I had a little car, I had her favorite blanket or their favorite blanket, and I had those things available so that they can feel them. They can actually use their senses. So the sense of touch, the sense of smell, the sense of sight, and the sense of hearing. So it was very important to use that because it would make it easier and more effective to learn the words that they were seeing in the videos and learning in the flashcards. The next step, I believe number 4, the next thing that I was very, very paying attention to was make sure that it wasn't around the time that they were going to either nap during the day or it wasn't too late of the day that they were getting ready to sleep. I tried to make sure that I used the time that they were going to focus on the video and do it at a time that they were most awake. They were most alert, and they definitely were not hungry. Make sure that your kids are well fed at least half an hour after eating. Perhaps you can put the video. You can try to put the video maybe an hour before resting time, but not too close because they're not going to really pay attention to the video since they're going to be tired, sleepy, groggy. Number 5, I made sure that I worked with my children. Again, I started one of my girls when they were 7 months and the other one when she was 8 months. So they were pretty young to start doing this system. So I wanted to make sure that my daughters were finding it fun. It was fun. It was exciting. So I exaggerated the words and I exaggerated the activity. So let's say we were doing, again, head, car, and blanket. So this is a blanket. Whoa, look at this awesome blanket. It's your favorite blanket. Or use descriptive language like the blue blanket, the small blanket, the soft blanket. The car, look at this car, it runs fast, slow. So use descriptive language as well when you're introducing vocabulary to the children. So again, it's more effective. And again, it was also a bond. So it was our time to do the learning, our time to have fun, our time to play. And if your child gets tired, like my daughters, if they got tired at some point, then that's it. We're not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to make it stressful. And I was definitely not going to make it boring. Come on, who wants to do something boring? No one, absolutely no one. And these steps are also effective when you're learning any language as the kids get older. It was just what I used for them to be able to read and absorb the information more efficiently and faster. Another thing that I used, I almost forgot, this thunderstorm and weather is just making me feel so nice. What was that again? Give me a second. Another thing that I did was I made sure that before I introduced the video to my children, I made sure I read everything, every single piece of item, every part of the video that's for the parents, like from the starter kit, from the starter video. I made sure I read everything and I followed the program the way it was intended to be. Now, all these other steps that I was explaining about the lighting and the bonding and the position where you're sitting and making sure that they eat and all that was me and my research and my knowledge from my education background. All that was me. But I did make sure that as the system says, put it twice a day. Also for the best results, put it twice a day. And it also says if your child is monolingual, only knows English, then you can do it twice a day. But the first 4 months, they're not going to know much. But then after that, you should start seeing some type of understanding. So they might not verbalize the words, they might not say what they're learning, but they will indicate, show you. If it's head, they will touch their head. They might not say head, but they'll know it. And if your child is bilingual or English is not their first language, then it would take about, do it twice a day, the videos, but it would take 6 months or more. So it take a little bit longer because again, this is yet another language that they're working with or learning, or it might not be their first language, so it'll take a little bit longer. So I read everything, I followed everything, and then I just added my things. One of the most important things that I did, so another tip, one of the most important things is I made sure that at the age my daughter started watching these videos or this program of Your Baby Can Read, they were very either no TV or very limited to no, first of all, they didn't use any tablets, any phones, anything like that at that age. And especially they were not exposed to watching things on TV or very limited things on any screen. So no screen time. So when they were introduced to these videos, it was just like, whoa, this image is moving. To them it's something new. It's going to catch their attention and it's going to get their focus, like really, really, really like paying attention, really focus on what they're learning. So it's very important. Now, I had someone comment on my first video, which is what prompted me to do the second video. And basically, what do you do if you didn't start that early on? Is it still worth buying the program? Is it still using it? Let me just let you know something. This is not sponsored at all. I've had this program of Your Baby Can Read for over a decade. I've used it on my 2 children personally, and I've had, of course, the most amazing results. They've been reading by the age of 2. And I've also used it at my daycare. I'm a daycare provider, and I have been using it for over a decade at my daycare. I've recommended it to anyone that I know, all my parents of the kids that I work with for all this time. And so, unfortunately, I bought it, didn't get sponsored, didn't get it for free. So don't think it's like a paid video or anything like that. Although I should get paid. I have been promoting Your Baby Can Read for so long. Anyone that knows me personally knows I promote this, and I love it hands down. So let's just kind of recap everything. Lighting is important. Your proximity space to the child and your position to that child. Making sure that they have eaten and it's not around the time of napping or sleeping. Making sure that you create it like a bond and do it fun, enjoy it, and go by the child. It's child-centered. So if they get bored, if they don't want to do it anymore, don't push it, because then it's not exciting, it's not fun, and you're not going to get the best results that you want to get. Make sure that you're not exposing them so much to other programs. If the kids are already older and they've already used iPads and phones and TV time, screen time, all of that, the system can still work. Just try to simmer down on those screen time and just use a program twice a day Sometimes my daughter would like it twice a day, and there were sometimes she'd even watch it 3 times a day. But if I have to choose between a cartoon or a movie, I mean, I might as well have her seeing this video. She's getting much more out of it. Also, I didn't push her so much, my 2 girls, to doing all this academics outside of this program, because it was already enough. And they already, as they got older, they did do screen time, like after the age of 2. When they were already like graduated from the program and everything, by the age of 1.5, they graduated. So imagine by 2, they weren't really watching this program at all. They were just focusing on other things. But make sure you do more of the learning and instructive videos and time for the kids, and less of the just watching other videos and cartoons just for the fun of it. So that's what worked for me. That's what worked for my children. And again, it has worked for my daycare kids in terms of them learning so much. I don't have them as much as obviously I have my girls, and the system is different when you're doing it in a daycare setting versus your own personal home, when it's just a child in the TV one-on-one. But it still has worked wonders, and the parents are very happy that we're using this system in our daycare. So hopefully these tips are great. Hopefully my experience and what I did with my daughters and the methods that I used are helpful for you. And if you know someone that can benefit from this, let them know. Again, the system is, or program is, Your Baby Can Read. And I love it. I work with it in my job and personal. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smile and have a wonderful day.